Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drills. I'm Aram Talegian, San Gabriel Valley Newspaper Group football writer, joined by Fred J. Robledo, the San Gabriel Valley Tribune Prep Sports editor. Freddie, it is week 9, and get this, we are talking about El Monte, 6-2 overall, 3-0 in the Mission Valley League, taking on South El Monte, 6-2 overall, 2-1 in the Mission Valley League. Kind of strange to say that in week 9.
Yeah, it is, because last year both of these teams had pretty tough years. I think South El Monte won 1 game. El Monte was all right, but you could see that they were coming along. They had a pretty good team coming back this year. And the difference for El Monte this year, Aram, has been their quarterback, Brandon Martinez. He's, and we've been talking a lot about Steven Rivera and Santiago, and rightly so. But this guy's numbers, Aram.
Give him the numbers, Fred.
They're as good as anybody. He's
Give him the numbers.
1,785 yards and 24 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
He's also rushed for almost 700 yards and 8 touchdown passes. That's as good as anyone offensively in the Valley right now. He's right there. Thing about El Monte, and I watched them earlier in the year against La Puente. It's a game that La Puente beat them. I thought El Monte was better. They had 4 turnovers in that game. And I'm really sold. I really like Martinez because he's an athletic quarterback who can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He's only a junior. That's what surprises me.
Yeah.
He's going to be a great player next year. And South El Monte, you look at them, their quarterback, Fernando Ramirez, he's averaging 148 yards a game, 12 touchdowns.
They're kind of a doubleheader. They have Henry Mascoro also playing.
And South El Monte's coming off a pretty big win last year. I think they put 50 points on the board in their game. Yeah. This is a huge game for South El Monte to make an argument that maybe they won to try to finish first or second, because if you finish tied with, if you beat El Monte, you win that head-to-head when it comes down for second.
Well,
and second, it would also, South El Monte would really help Rosemead, so the Panthers are big fans.
Rosemead is definitely rooting on South El Monte this week. However, fans of high-stakes football are rooting on El Monte because you want to see El Monte at 7-2, undefeated in league, taking on Arroyo.
And I've got that game on my calendar.
Undefeated in league in week 10.
Yeah, and no matter what happens, that's going to have league title implications next week. Even if El Monte loses, they could play and force a 3-way. But yeah, I think
that'd be pretty good. Martinez against Rivera.
Martinez against Rivera, 2 guys with absolute similar numbers. But you have to get by this game first if you're El Monte, and it's not going to be an easy game.
Yeah,
anytime when El Monte plays South El Monte, these teams don't like each other.
Listen, Freddie, South El Monte, I saw them play against Arroyo this year. They played an amoeba defense against Rivera. They were absolutely hell-bent on not giving up anything deep. Eventually, Rivera figured it out, started throwing it short. His receivers broke tackles. They scored touchdowns. South El Monte's offense really struggled, but I don't think they're going to have that much of a struggle against an El Monte defense that can be had. Yeah. I mean, you can move the ball on El Monte. South El Monte's defense this year averaging just 14.8 points per game this season. That's a big credit to Ibis Aguilar, the defensive, he actually calls the offense, but he was the guy that learned from defensive coordinator Ray Medina over at Bonita this offseason. He has revamped that that South El Monte defense using a lot of Ray Medina's principles, and you can see it. They play perfectly to their talent level. This is a team that doesn't give much away. They made Arroyo work for it. It was a tight game at halftime. Arroyo shut them out in the second half and put up 3 touchdowns. But this team will make you work. Yeah. And if you're going to screw up and put the ball on the ground against them, they're going to beat you. That's why this game has a chance to really be close and really be scary, Fred. Loser of this game, if it's South El Monte, they're going to be in the same spot as Rosemead. They're going to be wondering,
I agree with you, Aaron. Both these teams are 6-2. They've played a lot of like opponents, even in non-league. I don't think it's going to be one-sided either way whatsoever. Right. I think you hit the nail. South El Monte is going to be able to score points.
Pick it, dog.
Yeah, well, it's going to come down to me, turnovers again. The team that makes the least turnovers, least mistakes is going to win this game. I just think at the very end of the day, when it's something's close like this, I like to go with the one who has the biggest weapon, the biggest player, and that's Martinez to me. I think you need someone to be clutch in the fourth quarter, like you saw Rivera last week against Rosemead. I think you're going to see Martinez show up clutch in the fourth quarter. I think it is going to be a close game. I like El Monte, and I like that prospect. Some El Monte, Arroyo. Someone's O must go in week 10 for all the marbles. Right,
I agree with you, Fred. I'm going to go with El Monte for exactly the reason that you stated. They have the weapon on the field. They have the big weapon, and in the Mid-Valley and in the Mission Valley League, when you got that one guy that can beat you with arm or leg, that's huge. You saw Rivera do that against Rosemead. You saw him do that against South El Monte. No reason Brandon Martinez can't do the same thing. But you better be careful if you're El Monte, because this defense comes to play, and they will take advantage. They picked off Rivera twice.
And it is a scary game because, let's face it, El Monte hasn't won a championship since 1977 or 78. I forget what year it is, but it's in the mid-70s. And when you're kids and you've never won, it's very easy to look ahead to that game, to the Arroyo game, because that's
Right.
what you're thinking about, that championship.
Right.
And these are the games you screw up.
Right.
And teams that aren't used to being in that situation,
Right.
i.e. El Monte right now, very careful. I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure they're going to have them fired up.
And
but
as much as I hate to
easy
say
look
this,
ahead,
Fred,
Aaron.
they are also known as the team that does give you that one slip-up game.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like Clemson in college football.
Yeah.
You know, you always get
Yeah.
excited about Clemson, then they lose to somebody that
Right.
maybe they shouldn't have.
It's the perfect setup game for them to lose.
It is. But we both got El Monte because we're putting our faith in Brandon Martinez. This is going to be a great, great game. Get out there. It's down in the swamp. South El Monte, 6-2 overall, 2-1 in the Mission Valley. Hosting El Monte, 6-2 overall, 3-0 in the Mission Valley. Get out there and enjoy it.